Hello out there in YouTube land, this is Crafty Gamer Oz 66 and welcome to a video on Madeira Airport for Xplane 11. Now this is Madeira scenery made by a wonderful guy, UWE Speed. It's taken me hours and hours to sort this out to get this correct, and there are still some minor flaws as I'm going to show you as we roll through this. Just on the taxiway here, you'll see that there is a beacon light right in front of me that I don't think is correct there, or runway light. There's also a sunken taxiway sign to my right as well, which I don't think I picked up in the video. And I'm just sort of moving up the runway here to sort of show you. It has taken me quite some time to sort this out because the scenery was originally made for Xplane 10 and there was some issues with compatibility and it trying to work with Xplane 11, especially with terrain and all that. I will explain how I got all this working while I'm doing this. First thing I had to do was make sure you've got runway contours or runways follow contours turned on. That's important. Second thing is get a little application tool called X Organizer and X Airport Delete, and you'll have to remove the global scenery, the global airports. I did actually manually delete a file in global scenery Earth nav data for the reference of +32 -20. And the reference file there, which is +32 -17.dsf, needs to be deleted because there's when you download the scenery package from XPFR, I think it is, you can actually have a conflict, so you have to get rid of those files. But then once you get rid of the custom, the global airports, everything starts to come nicely. If you follow those mesh files and that, you will get it working a lot quicker than I've got it working. Now the other issue here is there's a windsock here that's floating above mid-air, so I went past that one. I think that's part of the default. I'll have to try and see if I can get rid of that later on. There is a second windsock further up the runway here which was actually working quite well, and it was fine. Using the default weather engine there, by the way, set on real world weather at the time, so it was scattered grey overcast. I do like the cloud formations and the weather in the default Xplane 11. I do like that. So here you can see this windsock is setting correctly in the ground. Not a problem at all. That one seems to be alright. Now I did have an issue where the windsocks from the original scenery were actually sitting below all of this structure. But they were part of the global scenery, so once I deleted the global scenery I got rid of that easy that issue. So this is at the stage now where it's working perfectly the way it should be. There is still probably for me a little bit of an issue with the mesh, but hey, it's Xplane 11, it's flight sims, even in P3D and FSX we're always going to have issues with mesh, like roads there like disappearing off a cliff, but cars can magically drive around it. I find that rather funny. So I'm going to swing around now and just show you how the scenery is actually working. This is Madeira Airport in Portugal, LPMA, I think if I've got that right, LPMA. And it's just one of the nicest little airports I like to do approaches in and out of, and always did like it in FSX. Still waiting for an updated one, I think, for P3D by Aerosoft, but the scenery developer on this has worked on this scenery since 2012. I found posts going back in the AvSim library, so very nice. Look, he's done a wonderful job on the airport, getting the design of the airport and everything like that, the roads, signs and so forth. So he has done a wonderful job. So UWE Speed, you can look it up on the AvSim forums, and you'll find his where it talks about all this scenery and stuff and how long it took to develop, and he really has done a wonderful job. But it did take a while to get this sorted out, because I could not get that raised up like it is now, and I couldn't get it sorted out and looking correct. And so you've got to download 3 files from XPFR. You've got to download the airport that he's done, you've got to download the textures, the mesh and everything, and you've got to download the objects. Now the mesh is actually, I think, on a different site, but you can find inside the README file of the airport, you'll find a PDF that will tell you where to get that, and you download that island, and you will be able to, once you remove the global airports, you'll be able to get it working quite nicely. Now, as I come along the side here, I switched over to nighttime to do a nighttime visual approach into runway 5. He's just done a wonderful job. The airport really looks great for Xplane 11, and the surrounding mesh and scenery do complement it as well. So, okay, at this point we're just at the end of runway 5, and we will now switch over to a nighttime setting, and I'll do a nighttime approach into Madeira Airport on runway 5. So here we are at nighttime, and I'm in a Cessna 172 to do this, because I wanted to try and do a sort of a low, slow flyover sort of thing. I wanted you to pay particular attention to the approach lighting system directly below me that's guiding me in towards the runway. Now, the approach lighting system in Xplane 11 and the VASI lights, I wish were a little bit bigger and a little bit brighter. I'm looking into that, if there's anyone that's done files or something on those to make them brighter and better. But generally, overall, when I compare the night lighting of runways and taxiways and airports and surrounding lights from this to FSX and P3D, I prefer my night flying in Xplane 11, because the lighting of the runways and the airports and the surrounding lights, to me, looks a lot more realistic, especially taxi lighting and the guide lights and everything. So I prefer Xplane 11 overall right now. It's become my preferred flight simulator for the level of realism. Now, I was a little high here, and that's probably probably bad flying, but it was very windy, very gusty because of that overcast. I was getting a lot of crosswind, but I'm also over a place like Portugal where there's a lot of terrain and everything like that. So I suppose it's better to be a little bit high than too low. And because the airport is on a raised area, you don't want to be too low, smack into the ground. Now, what I like here too is you can see the red arrows at the end of the runway there, all lit up, showing you it's the runway's above you, the runway's above you, and then we're just coming over the top of runway 5 for our touchdown. So there you have it, Madeira Airport, LPMA, made by XUWE Speed, I think, XEW Speed. Anyway, Avsim Forums, XPFR, I think it is the website. You can find it easily for this. It took a little bit of work to sort this one out, but I hope you enjoyed that video. We'll just taxi over now to show you that it's Madeira. But, there'll be lots more videos to come. Please rate, comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, even give me a thumbs down. I don't mind, if you don't like the video, hey, that's fine. Leave a comment though, because I do take constructive criticism. I don't get into doing a lot of videos as much as I used to. My video editing skills are way behind the times of what a lot of people are. But anyway, in the meantime, I look forward to all of the comments that I might get, all the subscriptions I might get. But more than that, this is about sharing of information. And that's what it's about, sharing of information. I figured out how to do something after hours and hours of painstaking time, so you don't have to spend the hours painstakingly trying to figure out why you can't get an airport to work. And hopefully you can get it to work and enjoy it and have some fun with it as well. Thanks again for watching. This is Crafty Gamer Oz 66. Join me as more and more videos come to life, and I look forward to your company next time. Cheers, guys.